Welcome to the Windy City Benders podcast, presented by Beer League Talk with your hosts, Nolly, Poetzy, Jarom, and Tanner.
Welcome to episode 73 of the Windy City Bender podcast, presented by Beer League Talk. This is going to be
It's the 73.
Did I say that? Yeah, the 73? Okay.
Just call it the 73.
Yeah, it's just the 73 because fuck that. It's the 7 plus 3 equals 10, the sharp.
Amante.
The Amante.
Yeah, the Amante.
Dennis Hall.
Well, no, wasn't Amante the fucking already episode number 10?
Yeah, that's why I said 2.0.
Oh, well, whatever.
1.0.
Okay, back at it again.
So today we are joined with Nolly.
Yeah.
Tanner.
Oh, hey-oh.
I hear you say way-oh.
Well, and Jarom.
What's up?
Poetz is not here today.
What a sloppy intro for all of this right now. Thanks for joining us, boys. Good night.
Well,
kidding.
you start so low, like you can only go up. It's all uphill from here.
Yeah.
Busting through those ceilings. But
It's funny how it goes so well every time Poetz is in here.
Yeah. So
Maybe you should figure his car situation out.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit of hot stock today, and then a little bit of NHL talk. So let's just let's get.
There's a few things going on around there.
Let's just jump into hot stock.
Yeah, hot stock.
Let's do it.
All right, what are we starting?
So
training camp?
Sunday was.
We're still waiting for everybody to send their bobbleheads to us.
Yeah.
Haven't received a single one actually, so I'm kind of surprised. But
luckily, we all got our own.
We did get our own. We're still accepting the ones that you guys sent out. They're probably stuck in the mail or something.
Yeah, I'll sign them and keep them. It's fine.
Sign them for yourself.
Just like Boquist on his jersey for like the CPA.
Oh
Signed it and wore it.
No, it's training camp. It was a blast. It was a good time. The rain didn't hold off the fans, as they put on Twitter.
It held off all the festivities. It was just a
festival.
line. It was a line to get inside and then chill there and watch Brian Campbell coach AAA hockey practice.
Which some of those kids could fucking snipe.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, that's what happens when you play AAA.
Yeah. Poetz was sitting there with his phone out, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Why are you recording the kids?" And he goes,
"That's creepy."
He goes, "I'm stealing their practice plays." He goes, "Is it bad that I'm taking this from like a bunch of mites?" And I'm like, "It's all right." But,
no, I think it's worse you're videotaping it.
But the first thing that happened, we walked in, we saw the new Jumbotron.
Oh my god!
No, we saw Chris Chelios when we first walked in.
We did.
Okay,
we did. Yeah, it was hard to miss him. You know, he was
right by him.
He was so tan, couldn't miss him.
Seriously, that man is. I don't know where he's getting a tan all the time, but nonstop.
Yeah,
but
he must live in a tanning bed at home.
That's actually where he sleeps at night.
He's like the reverse vampire. It's just
needs the light.
Oh, I love Chris Chelios though.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we saw the new Jumbotron, and holy shit, is it tiny?
They're overcompensating for something for sure.
Yeah. Oh my god, it is so fucking big and so cool. It didn't move at all while we were there because it was still training camp for the.
I think they're waiting.
Jumbotron.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the screens on underneath on the like under ring, but it was still really fucking cool to see it in some of like the startup videos and like the in between whistles, like during commercial break videos and stuff was really cool too.
Yeah. I think they're waiting to unveil the entire thing until opening night. But literally as soon as we walked in, everybody was like, "Whoa!" And I like looked up and I was like, "What are you guys whoaing? Oh my god, I forgot already!" Like, holy shit! And then, yeah, I feel like I stared at it for the first like 15 minutes. We were sitting there. I just wouldn't take my eyes off of it. And yeah, it's just awesome. It's unreal.
Doesn't it span longer too? Like
I think it just comes down. I don't think it goes wider.
Yeah.
And I think they have like smoke that shoots out of it and stuff, and lights that come out of it when they score. So it's gonna be nuts. Like first game is gonna be wild to see that thing.
Yeah, that's gonna be really fucking cool to see up front. But so then they got to the game, and it was actually a lot better hockey than I was expecting.
It was so physical.
Yeah, a lot of guys trying to make the team. Like, I mean, we've talked about it. There's not many open spots for guys to come in. So I mean, they really got to show what they're worth in starting in training camp. So it was a lot of fun. It was a good game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was fun for the first like 2 periods when you got to see like a lot of the superstars out there, and it was hilarious to see Sean Taves going at it.
Oh yeah, every single play.
It was so funny. It was like after it was one. I think you might have had your head down during it, but it was Sean Taves on a face-off, and puck drops, and Shaw just drops Taves right away, and he stands up and 2 hands him right in the back of the leg. And I was like, oh my god, there might be a scrap out here today.
Well, that also, who scored that goal that Shaw just fucking threw down, and then Taves went up and 2-handed him again after it too?
Wasn't it Anti-Veden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dropped him right after the shot. It's just like, welcome to training camp, bud.
One of the most surprising things, not a player, but the penalty shot.
Yes.
For every penalty, and the players on the ice lined up at the far blue and chased the guy taking the penalty shot into the zone, and then they played it, which is hilarious. I remember doing that in 3-on-3 hockey, like as a kid, and that was one of the funnest things. Like knowing the guys are on your ass, and you just got to try to make a move. Most of the goals were scored that way, though.
Yeah.
Oh, and some beauties were scored.
Oh baby.
Alex Nylander.
Yeah. Speaking of Nylander, he was probably one of the brightest stars of that whole training camp. And when we get into it, game 1 of the preseason, he's looked good.
Well, the effort's there, man. That's what they've been saying though. The effort's not always there, but when it's there, shit. You can tell that he was in the first round. He was the 9th overall.
Yeah, and I mean, look at what happened in Buffalo. I mean, there's guys quitting, like leaving money on the table because they're just not happy. And Ryan O'Reilly saying he lost his passion for hockey. Like something's going on up there in Buffalo. But hey,
Ristolainen, not really loving it.
That's what Ristolainen doesn't even. I guess I'll come and work in training camp or whatever. Like, but no, yeah. I mean, you could see the skill is there. Like the penalty shot that he took then, game 1 of preseason. Like his hands are moving. His head's up to see what kind of plays he can make.
He did that. What's impressive is those hands he had while being chased down like that too, which is just awesome.
Still gave himself enough time to slow down and make a move.
Yeah. I think one of the more upsetting parts of the training camp game was the fact that we weren't able to see Kirby Dach though.
Yeah.
That was disappointing.
That was a bummer. Such a bummer.
I was so excited to see him.
Fucking mild.
Yeah.
We didn't record after that. So the 7th place game at the prospect tournament, it was the Wild versus the Hawks, and fucking 4 guys from the Hawks get taken out of the game to injury
in like a minute and a half.
Yeah,
all in the same period.
It was Doc, Boquist, Chris.
Yeah. I can't think of who the 4th one was.
Kubalik or Kurashev?
No, yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was one of those 2.
But, like, what the fuck? Like, first off, why the hell were they playing a 7th place game in that? Like, that's so stupid.
Guaranteed a certain amount of games.
Oh, it's so stupid. But, but overall, I mean, that training camp was awesome. It's kind of cool seeing a little bit of everything because, I mean, there's so many new guys this year. So it was kind of cool getting a first look.
Especially with how many young prospects that they have that we keep talking about, we're so excited about.
Yeah.
But
was
not
out there?
No, he was out there. He wasn't that noticeable.
Yeah,
but one guy that was noticeable, not a prospect, Gustafsson, was moving the puck, and he was fucking feeling it.
Also, my boy Versteeg.
Yeah, for beauty.
Yeah,
when he was getting the boo birds, and he just gave a little wave and started laughing his way off the ice.
Oh, that was so funny.
Johnny Tays had some really nice hands. He made a lot of good plays to get around guys. I mean, granted, there's a lot of prospects out there, which he should be getting around most of those guys, but he made a lot of great offensive plays.
They're still NHL prospects.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing it with, like, just his hands and not really moving his feet too much. It was just like that. It like
exactly
looking almost like a coach, like with a little kid practice, kind of like you can't touch the puck,
just shuffling back and forth.
Definitely looks like he's gonna go off this year again, and I'm so fucking pumped for it.
If it's anything like my NHL 20, 108 points and number 1 in the league. So,
oh yeah.
If he could beat McDavid, I would be happy.
Anything less than McDavid.
Does he automatically go to number 1 on next year's list if he does?
He goes to number 19.
He's 19. He drops, actually.
Oh, man. Yeah, was there anything else from the training camp that, like, stood out to you guys?
We got a bobblehead. Oh, no. One of the best parts of the whole thing was they started playing a music video, an old-time music video, and then they just cut it halfway through, and they just go, "It's T-shirt time!" And there's, like, lights shining everywhere, and Tommy Hawk came out, and he started shooting the T-shirt cannon.
Yeah, he was, like, 40 feet away from us.
Yeah, but, like, it got us going. Like, I was not expecting that whatsoever.
Your eyes got so big, you're like,
I was like,
what is going on right now?
They had the new, like, shoot the puck style thing that they tried to do. It was
Top Golf.
Where it was you're basically trying to leave the puck inside the circles, and each circle has a point value, which like is
a dollar value.
Yeah, equal to a dollar value. And then at the end of like the 5 shots, you have to shoot it all the way down the ice and try and score a goal. That was kind of cool. That was pretty neat.
That was cool.
I still
I'm
hope
upset that guy didn't sauce.
Yeah,
I'm upset that guy didn't sauce it into an empty net. Like, come on, bud.
Did they do something in the first intermission? I can't remember.
Nah.
I thought they did.
I thought that was first intermission.
What was second intermission then?
I don't think I was second intermission.
It was T-shirt time.
T-shirt time was at 8:15. Left in the third.
The funny thing is, I thought they were doing that just to like get the clock running and like to play stop, but no, they stopped the clock for that. They would have ran off probably about 5 minutes of that. It was fucking awesome though.
But me and Tanner, fantasy wise, we picked the red team. Not a big deal. We won. Whatever. It's fine.
No, me and you.
I picked white.
I meant Jarom. I definitely looked at you and said Tanner.
Yeah, I was the first one to choose a team. And
I know. You're like, I'm picking white. And I'm like, okay, I'm going red.
Yeah, white got destroyed 5-1. I was yelling out, "Let's go white," and people around me were fucking just like, "What?" How about the kid that was sitting in front of us?
Oh my god, they hated us.
You also yelled, "Oh my god, my butthole just clenched."
Yeah, the kid turned around and stared at me for days.
How about when Nylander came out on the ice and Poetzy fucking just had an orgasm in his seat with his pads? That the grandpa that I'm assuming was the kid's grandpa just turned around and just gave Poetzy the dirtiest look, but Poetzy was just committed to just going off on that.
It's like you better turn that chair back around, bud, because it's gonna get messy over here.
You're gonna spill on yourself again.
Yeah, that was actually pretty funny.
Yeah. Definitely.
They knew what they were getting themselves into when they were standing in front of us in line and then in front of us.
Yeah.
So, so that was Sunday, and then immediately the next day we had game 1 of the preseason against the Washington Capitals, and boy, did we see some good shit.
If you draw up a preseason game, that is how I want it to be. Even though they lost, Boquist with a just nasty goal. Nylander with 2 points. Nylander making a nice move to feed Gus. I mean, it was redirected, but Nylander and Gus get assists. Boquist feeding Nylander. It was just everything like that. Those are the guys I want standing out in this tournament right now. Absolutely. Or training camp.
Yeah.
And if only Doc was there. That's the only way it could get better.
Yeah.
I was watching the highlights from it, and I got to see the Boquist goal and the way he was able to like corral the puck and go around like the back of that net and then just curl and rip it, and it was just like
batting it out of midair behind the net too to get it down to himself. Like, and then crazy. That's like a Kaner goal where you used to come around the net and just rip it far side or right near side, top corner.
That angle, I don't know how the hell he got that far side. That's absolutely ridiculous.
And the beautiful bar end sound. Oh, it doesn't get better than that. But yeah, and then he had a lot of nice plays. You could see him leading the rush a lot, jumping into the play, jumping offensively. Had that nice low shot to Nylander in front of the net, who corralled it and then ripped it on net. I mean, fuck, it was fun to watch those guys play.
Yeah, and then Sorella, we were trying to figure out at the training camp. I could not remember where he came from, and he came
Carolina.
The Dahan trade, and he looked pretty good out there too. And he's another one that I kind of forgot about, and he's like fucking determined to like everything. Every comment he's made, he's determined to make this team. And you know what? I think this is like amazing how deep our team is now. Right now that we have all these options, and it's making me feel so much better about this team.
Well, there's so much hunger between like all the players, and it's like getting super competitive just within the organization because like who's making the team like for sure, which is like core guys, and it's like there's only a couple spots. Those are like those little holes that need to be filled in. And it's like if you get the chance to fill that spot, you better perform as hard as you can and as best as you can, because if you falter at all, someone else is going to be like, fine now.
Yep. I mean, yeah, we've talked about it time and time and again. I mean, it's funny how this like kind of preseason compared to last preseason, how different it is. And I feel like not a whole bunch has changed. I mean, there's been like some good changes, but like I feel like not a ton has changed between the two, but somehow the prospects are just getting better and better, and they're getting closer and closer to playing. And the top like guys that are locked in, like you were talking about, are looking even better than we ever thought they could.
Yeah. And it's good having Colleton having his like the full season. He has the whole training camp to kind of like, really put in his
the start of the season instead of 12 games in or whatever it was last year. I mean, you could tell that like at the last half of the season, like they were one of the hottest teams going into the end of the season.
Yeah, it was like after Christmas, right?
Yeah, I mean,
into the system and everything, they were on fire, and it was just like we had talked about before. It was just like St. Louis ended up being in the same place and just doing slightly better. It's like shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird.
No, I don't know if you guys saw it today, but Dahan, did you hear what he said about trying to make it for game one?
No.
He came out and they asked him if he was going to be able to play in game one. He practiced today with the team, and he said, I'm going to make it absolutely the hardest I possibly can for the doctors and trainers to tell me I'm out for game one. But ultimately, it's their decision, but I'm ready to play. And
I'm so
this guy is fucking ready to go. Yeah, I'm stoked. He's the next Nick Jarmelson. I can't wait. He's also like just as good looking as Jarmelson is too. So like that's like we need a good looking defenseman on the back end.
That's Boquist.
Well, I mean, until Boquist comes in.
Yeah, true.
We can have two. We can have two hot guys on the team.
Hey.
So yeah, let's go back to Nylander for a second. From what we've seen in like so far in training camp, what we've seen at the festival on Sunday in game one, is it kind of easier to kind of step off the ledge a little bit about that trade?
Not 100% for me. I mean, each time I see him on the ice, I feel a little bit better about it. We'll see how Jokiharju does in Buffalo, but I really feel like this is going to be like another Dylan Strome coming to Chicago and finding his way. Because, I mean, just like we said, the talent's there. It's just the want, and there's not many spots left. And I think this kid's sick of playing in the A.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to stand out this year. Especially if he gets put on a line with Taves, like they had a training camp or something, it's going to be an easy season for him.
My mindset with it too is like, he's looking great now, but he's also doing it against his own team, and he's doing it in the preseason where it's basically prospects as well.
Right.
It wasn't like the star guys. So until you see in the NHL, I'm still not happy, but I definitely feel better than I did.
Yeah. And
like if he starts the season pretty hot, he'll be able to like carry that and be like, instead of like starting low and then being like, shit, now I'm like starting low on yourself sucks, because then you're like trying to work so much harder to pick yourself up and you overthink a lot of things. If he starts hot, he can probably just like be like, oh, now it's flowing, and just keep that going throughout the season, which would be really nice.
Yeah, just kind of like I knew it was there. I'm finally showing it. Like instead of fuck, here we go with another season again.
Yeah. I almost wonder with him though, like my biggest concern too with him is the way he talks about how he was in Buffalo wasn't a good situation, and he's like so determined to make the NHL. Is if he starts in Rockford, is that gonna like, is he have enough of a mental case to let that just completely derail him or like, does he have to start the season on the team?
I don't know. I feel like he's that like determination, like that hard work that they talked about was a problem before. I feel like that's literally like that switch is like flipped now. Like just watching him play, he said he talked to his dad and his brother Willie like all summer and prepared with them all summer. Ever since he got traded, I mean, I really feel like even if he starts in the A, he's not going to be there long. I feel like he's going to be on a Hawk pretty much the whole season.
That's one of the crazy things too, is like he's still so young. Like and like with all the players that are so young, like the RFAs that had just signed, like with them being so good, we expect so much of these young guys already. When like 10 years ago, like if he was at this level, like what he's doing, we've been like, he's going to be good. He's still going to be good. Like give him some time. Like, and now it's like so hard on them for not being good right away. It's like,
especially as a first round pick,
right?
Bowman said something too that like really made me like actually looking forward to this. And he's like, we got a lot of talent here. A lot of guys that probably deserve to be on the NHL aren't going to start here, and vice versa, kind of thing. And I'm just like, fuck yeah, like the next guy up attitude is what I fucking am ready for this team.
Not only that, but if he kind of stays like has a good year but doesn't do anything crazy, you can sign him pretty cheap.
Yeah,
he can't hold out like Willie did.
You can still get way better,
Yeah, absolutely. So that'd be ideal for the Hawks
for that cap situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything standing out to you guys about Game 2 that's going on right now? I know you guys are watching it.
Not really. Not a ton of. I don't know. Not like the prospects I want to watch. There's some there, but I want to watch Nylander right now. I want to watch Doc. Obviously, he's not there.
Yeah, has there been an update on him?
No, they just showed him he was out on the ice. I don't know if he was practicing with the team, but he was on the ice, so that's good. Boquist isn't playing. I don't know. There's
just like Entwistle's playing, right?
Yeah, Entwistle. He is a guy that I want to keep my eye out for. Then you got like Shaw, DeBrincat, and Strome as the top line. So
Perlini, he's out there.
Perlini too, yep, and that Verbeauty.
Yeah.
He a couple people are saying, like Laz, I know tweeted out, he goes, he would not be surprised if he's in a Blackhawk sweater this year. I don't know how I'd feel about that.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think they have too many prospects that they would rather get NHL time than have him come try and take another role.
Well, I think if like it comes down to like injury issues and like if the prospects show that they're not ready for that kind of role, it's like, yo, Versteeg, you want to pop up here?
Yeah, the only thing with that too is we have to sign him still because he's only signed to a Rockford contract. So,
yeah.
All right.
There's not many spots. I don't know. There's not many spots open. I guess if there's like an injury up top, that'd be good for him. But like he's not much of a depth guy right now. I feel like he's kind of moved on from being a depth player. Like when he was on the team before, it was kind of he could show skill, but then he could be like a gritty guy if he needed to be, which I don't know how he could be anymore.
So a lot of things are looking up for the Hawks. Finally something good's happened for us.
Yeah, so many years have just been wasted.
So I think that's about it for Hawks talk. Let's transition over to the NHL.
The RFA talk, you mean?
Oh, but first let's go to the biggest news, probably the best news.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yesterday, the NHLPA announced that they were declining to reopen the CBA, which means this current CBA will run through the 2021,
2022 season.
Yeah, so that's at least 3 years of more hockey. Don Fair came out. I'll read the statement real quick.
Go for it.
While players have concerns with the current CBA, we agree with the league that working together to address those concerns is the preferred course of action instead of terminating the agreement following the season. We have been having discussions with the league about the extension of the CBA and expect those talks will continue. So cooler heads prevailed. I know as soon as I heard Taze talking about escrow and all that, I got really fucking nervous that they were going to decline the CBA.
I feel like both the players and the management, like we've talked about before, know that this is not the right time to be stopping hockey. Like they can't. Like this is the best the game's ever been. This has literally every team has a superstar and a young stud on their team. the game just keeps growing. There's just no way they could get a lockout right now.
Plus, there's about to be a 30-second team. Like, you don't want to do that right before that team starts. Like,
exactly. It would have been a lockout for the year that they would come into the league. It's like, but another thing is, like, going into it, another reason I feel that way, that they know that they can't go into lockout, is because they're allowing amendments to the current CBA so that they can talk about the CBA and make changes that the NHL and the NHLPA agree upon. And then, so hopefully by the end of this CBA, they've made enough amendments that they can just extend that as well. And they don't have to worry about maybe going to a lockout or disagreeing on anything.
Yeah. With this CBA, they're allowed to do like a 3 or 4 year extension, I believe.
Yeah.
But that's what I saw. They might be able to do more. I just saw that it was like possible to have like a 3 or 4 year extension. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I saw too. So, I mean, it could end up being a 6-7 year extension total for the CBA. So,
oh, you mean just like not extension, but like
if they extended it from this,
current contract could end up being like 7 years or so.
Yeah, hopefully, nice. Ideally though, they'll come to terms on a CBA that they'll be able to get long term. So
that'd be nice.
So that was the main thing. That was big story, which makes all of us feel better. And then once training camp started on Friday, boy, did the contracts get signed.
Yeah, not a lot of guys wanted to go play in Europe, apparently, even though they said that they did.
Weird.
Weird how they didn't want to get paid a couple $100,000 when they could have got paid a couple million.
Just want to say that I'm pretty sure it all happened once the Pierlini contract fell.
Dominoes
started falling.
It had to be. They were like, wow, this guy finally signed. We got to fucking get going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of big ones, Zach Werenski, like Josh Morrissey, Ivan Provorov, Mitch Marner, Charlie McAvoy, Brock Besser, Travis Konechny, like Brandon Carlo's like kind of up there, but like those are big names that are young guys that all signed.
A lot of it's funny too, because it's like a lot of these guys waited so long and held out for so long, and it's like most of them, it's like, really, that's all you got for it. Like a lot of bridge deals, which you're expecting are going to be a little bit lower than what I'm sure they wanted for a long term. Which I'm surprised there's a lot of bridge deals, but at the same time, I'm kind of not too surprised because everybody's waiting for the cap to go up the next couple of years, and then they're going to get paid again.
Yeah.
How does Boston keep getting away with these like fucking team-friendly contracts? Like, holy shit.
So I feel like, I feel like it's a domino effect. You see one guy do it, especially like a guy, Patrice Bergeron, you see him do it. It's like, all right, like, if this guy, one of the best guys on the team, is going to do it, like I feel like I have to follow along. He's a leader. Brad Marchand, his contract was not a steal when he signed it. He wasn't putting up 100 points. But I mean, like if you look at it, a lot of guys are getting old on that team. Charlie McAvoy's probably like, I'll take a little bit of a discount, see how far we can go. Once this is up, though, like that's my time to get paid. And that his last year, he's getting 7.3. So his fourth year, he's guaranteed to get that 7.3 at least.
Yeah. So what he signed was 3-year, $14.7 million with an average hit of $4.9 million.
Right. And then like Nolly was saying, so in the last year, he's getting 7.3. That's his total salary. And so for his last year, as an RFA status as a 26-year-old, in order to do a qualifying offer to him, they have to match that price rather than like the actual annual value. They would have to match like the 7.3 at least.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how all those bridge deals went. That they were so back heavy because they want to make sure that fourth year that they get fucking paid.
Yeah, just that last year of their RFA status. Some guys aren't their fourth year or so. Like some are a little bit younger too. So.
So
did you guys see Besser's contract?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He no signing bonus or $3 million in signing bonus, 3.33 and then 0 signing bonus and then 7.5 at the end. So yeah, he's another guy making about 7.5, but it's hilarious because his base salary is only 700 and then it goes up to 3 and then it goes up to 7.
Yeah, I mean.
So, I mean, yeah, it's just, like I said, that's a lot of the bridge deal stuff's going heavy back-ended.
So, all right. So I was going to ask a couple other questions about these contracts, but I just want to get into it because it might be a little bit Mitch Marner. So, so, I mean, obviously he signed. So first of all, what's your takeaway from it?
There's so much. So
yeah, there's 65 million much.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be that much. No. So he gets 10.893 as an AAV. Personally, I'm paying probably 9.5 for him. I'm not paying that much. And I understand that they had to get a deal done. There's just so many factors. So I look at it as in they got him signed and he's on the team for the next 6 years. And not only that, but they have Nylander, Matthews, Marner, and Tavares locked up for the next 5 at least. Plus they've got Alexander Kerfoot, Andreas Janssen, Kasperi Captain locked up also for at least another 3 years. And they have Morgan Riley for another 3 years, which I know that's the only defenseman they have to sign after this year. But this is a team that looks like that they can make a decent run. And if this is a team that makes it far and ends up winning anything, who gives a shit what happens next year?
Right.
Who gives a shit who you have signed? But then you get into it and you hear Mitch Marner got 2 offer sheets and he turned both of them down because he wants to be in Toronto so bad. And I'm like, the kid was never going to leave. You could have held out on him, and there was no way he was leaving. He wanted to be in Toronto. He's from Toronto. He wanted to be the superstar. I mean, you could have gotten him for way cheaper, but at the same time, too, it's you don't know what that cap's supposed to go up to. They're projecting $100 million in the next 3 or so years. So I mean, it's only been going up every single year. So I mean, in a couple of years, when you're spending 50% on 4 players. It's not going to look as bad in the next couple of years as that contract goes on. Halfway through it, it's not going to look as bad as it is now.
Right.
I'm looking at their contracts right now. It actually doesn't seem like the worst situation in the world because for forwards,
their top 9 are locked.
Their top 9 are locked, and then they have guys on rookie contracts or less than that kind of contracts, and only 3 of them have contracts out of the 6 that are up next year. One's Jason Spezza. So I'm assuming if you wanted to come back league minimum, you can also get a bunch of veteran guys that would probably want to be on that team for league minimum.
Yeah.
And then when you're looking at defense, you have
that's scary.
Cody Ceci, you have Jake Muzzin, both making 4 and 4.5. Sure, that frees up and maybe you don't get them back, but maybe you can get some younger defensemen that you can get for that $4 million and that 4.5.
In that scenario, you could probably get Muzzin on a little bit of a higher. I mean, you could probably get him for another $4 million. He's 30 years old. He won 2 cups, and after his cups, he's making $4 million still. I mean, you could probably get him on that, or maybe 4.5 or something.
Probably 6.
Maybe. But I mean, he's like I said, he's 30. Cody Ceci's probably gone after this year. That's 4.5 guaranteed freed up. Tyson Barrie's the hard one because he's going to want to get paid.
And he's going to get paid.
And he's going to. Yeah, exactly.
And then you have the younger guys that are on league minimum contracts that you could probably just $1 million then. And
yeah, Justin Hall and Martin Marincin are both supposed to be pretty high prospects for them. So they're going to be leaning on them too a lot after this year, especially seeing after who else gets signed.
Yeah, so I mean, they're not in the worst cap trouble. It could definitely be better, but when it's the kind of things when the Hawks were in cap hell, but they were still really good. Where you're able to pull some players towards you, and that will take a little bit less money just because they can see how special that team is, and they are usually older guys that are looking for a cup, and they'll probably want to jump on that train and help out because they've already made their money, so they'll come on and be yeah, let's fucking win this shit and go.
And
good teams find a way to make it work. They always find a way.
And then the difference between the Hawks and the Leafs situations too is that the Leafs, there's this optimism of the cap, like you said, the cap going up. But the Hawks, we knew it was not going to go up as much as it's going to possibly go up for the Leafs. So I mean, that's definitely. I mean, you're playing with fire a little bit by banking on that a little bit, but
also the other thing too with the Hawks is our good guys didn't get paid until they had already won everything. So
yeah, now it's fucking us.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing that's kind of worth it,
right.
If Toronto doesn't win anything on these contracts in the next 8 years, was it really worth it to pay these guys that much?
Right.
Was Kyle Dubas seeking a little warm, or is it just way too early?
Absolutely.
No way. Are you kidding me?
I don't think so. I'm just generally asking.
Yeah, you better get defensive right now.
I'm just generally asking if you guys think that, because
look at his track record since he's came in, though. Everybody said that you couldn't get the big three signed. He went out and got John Tavares as a UFA, and he got the big three signed. So he's got the big four signed up. He went out and traded and made their defense better, losing Jake Gardner, going out and getting Jake Muzzin last year, and then going out and getting Tyson Barrie, picking up Alexander Kerfoot after moving Kadri to basically replace him. Like, he has a great track record right now. He's done very, very well, and he went out and got
Jason Spezza.
David Clarkson's contract back to wiggle around another fucking mess up within the cap system, so where they can get the full effect of the IR instead of just like half of whatever it would have been.
That little LTIR, baby.
Yeah. So I mean, there's no way. If anything, it's the top four that are on this. I mean, after Nylander holding out for money, Marner holding out for money, Matthews getting paid, probably getting the C this year. Those three guys are on the hot seat.
All right, but here, playing devil's advocate though too. He got those guys locked down. Everybody said they couldn't, but say the cap doesn't go up the way it's supposed to, and he gets in a situation where they haven't won anything, and now he is within 2 years are having to sell this assets off this team to try to make it work.
If you have those four locked up, I think you'll be okay.
I'm pretty sure if he also wanted to sell off any of those guys because it's not living up to the hype. I think Tavares is probably the only one that has a no movement clause.
Yeah, I was just saying
until the end of it.
26.
Yeah.
Austin Matthews doesn't have one until the last year of his contract, and then Marner's the last 2 years of his.
Yeah, because those are UFA years on his for sure. And then Nylander's got a modified no trade clause on the last year of his. So in the next 4 years, he could possibly trade any one of them if he felt like it. So,
and even if they're not living up to like the hype that they have money wise, you could still get a shit ton for them just because the potential's always going to be there for those guys.
Well, yeah, they've already shown that they're like elite players.
Right.
And again, like I said, I don't think that I'm just trying to,
whatever, Jarom. Shut up, Jack.
So
go pick up some poop.
Yeah, Jarom picked up poop on Sunday before the training camp.
It was dark. Leave me alone.
Bare hand.
All right. So besides the Marner contract, was there any contracts that kind of stood out to you guys? Like either like, holy shit, that was great, or like, what the fuck were they thinking?
Honestly, I think that Besser contract's pretty good.
Yeah.
I know it's only 3 years, but I think that's pretty good. I still don't understand Spurgeon getting 7.5. That's kind of crazy. I know he was a UFA, but
I think just Minnesota loves Spurgeon.
Yeah, he is.
Ivan Provorov.
They have nobody else to throw money at. Yeah, Provorov, that was a good contract also.
Yeah, dude, he's like one of those guys in Philly that you don't really hear about because it's like usually Giroux and like Voracek and stuff like that.
Right.
But
and
like
Ghost
Provorov
was
is like a fan there.
I didn't realize he was only 22.
Yeah. He's sick.
Yeah. Werenski's contract, honestly, a lot of these signings are good. Werenski's got a good contract, especially with how much money Columbus has. They could have thrown so much more at him. Josh Morrissey, I think that's going to be a steal in a couple of years. He's a solid defenseman for them in Winnipeg.
Yeah, I like him. He's good. That sucks.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of these are
Winnipeg.
Yeah, so speaking of Winnipeg, we're getting
that's right.
Patrick Laine.
Patrick Laine is an SC burn. And like I was telling the boys earlier, like Mikko Rantanen just went out there to practice with them. But I guarantee Mikko Rantanen's going to be on Colorado really soon. They have so much money to not. Like,
they have 18 mil in cap space.
Like, are you kidding me? Like,
yeah.
I'm sure he's probably looking. I mean, wait, Braden Point's not even signed either, too. That's one of the things. So it's just him and Braden Point are like the two big guys still. Oh, Matthew Tkachuk, I don't think is signed still either.
Kyle Connor, too.
Kyle Connor, yeah.
So it's like I would totally sign Kyle Connor before I would sign fucking Patrick Laine.
Well, at the same point too, Patrick Laine is like it's almost like he's trying to get himself traded.
Right,
like, he's making.
Like he wants out.
There was the comments I fucking wish I saved them, or where he was saying like he's pretty much shitting on Winnipeg, saying like any other team if he would be on a top line playing with the best players, and over in Winnipeg he's stuck on the second line with a rotation of line mates.
Well, that's because the top line is Kyle Connor and Scheifele and Wheeler.
Right.
And they're
so
absolutely disgusting, and they're fucking.
And
they're actually full-ice players.
Yeah, and also they don't fucking take any games off or months where you you score 17, half of your goals in a month, and then the other months you're unheard of.
I feel like he's gonna flame out, and he's gonna be a absolute bust. Like,
trade him for Pugliarvi. Have him blind and go play with McDavid.
Bring back Yakupov. Trade him for Yakupov.
Oh God.
I think you have to trade.
Yeah, so we'll.
Yakupov. You just hand him a burger and just be like, "You want to play?
You wanna come back?" Yeah, so I mean, it's funny too because it's like everybody was so concerned about Marner and the Leafs and how are they going to do it, and now you got the other. There's two Canadian teams that have big name guys that aren't signed and aren't even talking. It seems like.
I definitely feel like the groundwork now, some of the contracts signed for Tkachuk, I think he's going to be signed pretty soon too. That there's kind of a couple more contracts out there to compare it to and be like, all right, take this type of deal. They only have just under $7 million in cap space, which
they only have just over 6, dude. It's at 6.3.
Oh, 6.3. I misread that. My bad.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, and he wanted 10.5.
He wanted 10.5.
That's what the rumor was.
Oh,
that's a high asking price, but I mean, yeah, that's gonna be rough.
And then
what's he gonna do though? Like, is he gonna go to his homeland in Finland?
He's gonna go back to St. Louis, Missouri.
And then
Arizona. I think his dad's in Arizona now.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
And then Tampa Bay has just under 8.5,
which is probably
you could probably sign Point at 8.
Amount for Point. Yeah, I mean, no state income tax. You
could
probably get him at 8, even if it's like a 3-year deal.
I mean,
man,
Stamkos is making 8.5, Kucherov 9.5. Don't think he gets more money than those guys.
And Kucherov just signed that too.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to argue that you deserve more than Kuch?
So I think he probably be like the 5.5, 6 range.
No, he'd probably be closer to like 7.5.
7?
Yeah, he's like on that top line with them.
Oh. Wow.
Put up 92 points last year.
Yeah,
stupid. That whole team is stupid.
That's insane.
But yeah,
fun stuff. There's still a few things happening before season really starts up, and then we'll get all of our predictions in for what the teams are going to look like. And we'll see.
A couple good interviews coming up.
Yeah, that stuff's cool.
And if you're not a Hawks fan, definitely the last episode before the start of the season you're not going to like because all Hawks, baby.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Hawks episode.
There you go.
Yeah, hopefully Poetzy will be with us in the next few.
Yeah.
Something else happens.
He's got like 4 other windows on his car that he broke.
Jesus.
Poor kid.
And just yelled at me for that one.
You know what just happened last time I made fun of Poetzy?
Yeah.
Turned off. So watch your car, bud.
So unless you guys got anything else?
No, we're all good. Let's
Kubelik's got 2 today.
There we go.
3 right now, huh?
Yep. That's about it.
Looking good.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for checking in episode 73, the 73.
Nice.
The 73.
For myself, Nolly, Tanner, and the spirit of Poetzy.
See you, boys.
We'll see you next episode.
Love ya.
Bye.
Follow the boys on Twitter at WCBPodcast, on Instagram at WCBPodcast, and like them on Facebook, the Windy City Benders Podcast.